Ladies and gentlemen, the next spotlight will explore the topic of the edge of wildness, pioneering philanthropy through sustainable and authentic luxury in remote destinations. Please enjoy this video. Please welcome back on stage Tak, who will be moderating the spotlight, and joining him is the trailblazing Mr. James McBride, co-founder and CEO of Nihi.
Thank you very much. Welcome, James.
Thank you, Tak.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I have full disclosure and transparency. I've actually known James for a long time, and I'm more than familiar with the ethos and philosophies. But for those in the audience unfamiliar with the man and his movement, let me start this spotlight conversation by saying how transformative the experience that I had when I went to Nihi many years ago. The resort, in my mind, has been emblazed in my heart and my memories based on the philosophy of the community, giving back to the community. And as luxury says, it is time. And what you've given back to the community in having the resort, you've had accolades of the #1 best resort in the world. You've also, for Robb report, have just got the world's top resort hotel master list top 50 recently. Can you tell us a bit about your background? How did you develop the edge of wildness philosophy?
Because I think I went mad. Just see if everyone's listening. How did I develop the edge of wildness philosophy? I think that life takes you down journeys that sometimes you never imagine. And having worked in the corporate world, really all over the world, and when I got the call from Chris Birch when I was the president of YTL to go and look at a little surf resort on the island of Sumba, I didn't know where Sumba was, and as most of you in the audience probably don't know, Sumba is an island 1 hour east of Bali. It's 2.5 times bigger than Bali. It's the same size as Jamaica or Puerto Rico in America. And I took up the challenge and went to go and see this little, not little business on a huge piece of land. And it reminded me of Africa. I'm from South Africa. And I think the confluence of all of that piqued my interest. Chris wanted to buy the resort. I was at YTL, as I said, and really it was a big company. And I found this to be quite an exciting opportunity, but didn't grab it right away, but said to Chris I would help him put the deal together, which I did as a friend. Wind the clock forward maybe a year. I think we both realized that this could be something extraordinary, and I went and lived between Sumba and Bali. My peer group in the business thought that I had gone mad. They thought that I had had a midlife crisis or that I was a criminal on the run, one or the other. As most midlife crises go to Bali, but if you go to Sumba, things must have really gone bad. So that's where I was. And sometimes I did think that I was on the run and that I had really gone mad. And I think it was in the early days that I saw TAC there, which was great, as we started to create Nihi Sumba from what was Nihi Watu. Nihi Watu is the name of the beach. Deploy a lot of capital, work with the Sumba Foundation, and start to evolve it on a journey of where it is today. I think that in what we do, it's all been very organic, not as organic as in product, but organic as a journey, organic as being creative as you go. And everything that we've done over this last 13-year journey has happened naturally and has been done with thought and spirit for the community, for our clientele, and it just has happened year by year, and it's evolved.
You must have faced so many challenges, because Sumba is an island, as you said. I believe it's an hour away from Bali.
Yeah,
I
yes.
think there's no other hotel before you came. There's no other resort, from my understanding.
No, when we acquired it, there were sort of eight cottages that were there. So there was some infrastructure, and I have to give, Claude Graves is the founder of Nihi Watu. He bought it probably 10 years prior, lived on the beach, got malaria 45 times, started the Sumba Foundation. As if he hadn't of, he probably would have had his head cut off. Truly, jokes aside. It's a very tribal community. It's the Marapu religion, where currency is still buffalo, horses and pigs. When people get married, there's dowry. And that's why it's very similar to Africa in many ways. And we acquired it from Claude in 2012 and continued on the journey and obviously evolved it tremendously. But there already was a platform there, important to note.
And to get to the stage to be recognized as the world's best hotel resort from many, many media, there must have been some key pivotal moments that you might wake up and say, oh, forget this, it's too hard to do. There must have been some challenges to turn that space, build it, and then also get the people to come to the resort. What type of challenges and hurdles did you face?
Oh, I think there are an abundance of challenges and hurdles. I think having grown up in South Africa, being, let's say, business educated in America and Asia, I grew up with the Ritz-Carlton Hotel Company from 1987 to 2002 and probably opened 20 Ritz-Carltons, including the original one here in Central, which was has already been knocked down. It only lasted 15 years. Only in Hong Kong does a 35-story building get knocked down. And I think that preparation from there to the Carlisle and Rosewood, and having grown up in Africa, I had a very, very global exposure. I had wonderful relationships with media. Marketing has always been close to my heart. And I've always admired Richard Branson's approach to marketing, and I think creativity has been a part of that. And on the other side, Chris Birch is one of the great brand builders of the world. He's the co-founder of Tory Burch, one of the most successful women brands in the world. Chris was involved in Voss Water. Chris was the original investor in the Faena in Buenos Aires. And cumulatively, we had great global reach. And people will give you a chance and come and see a crazy place, which they did. And I think when they did, they witnessed something that was of extraordinary beauty, that was different, and that struck a chord. But I think most importantly, exotic projects like Nihi Sumba generally start and stop and start and stop, and they're undercapitalized, and they sort of lose momentum. We never lost momentum. We executed quickly, and we were fortunate to do everything and more that we promised. And regardless of what we put on Instagram or in articles, it's one of the few places in the world that when you actually witness it firsthand, it's more beautiful than any picture. And a lot of that's because of its scale and its size. And if you don't follow it on Instagram yet, you have to. That's your barrier to entry here at NIHI. This is a commercial break brought to you by TACMan. Thank you very much. Take out your phones because I have to catch up to Soneva because they're doing their job is too good. They've got people everywhere and they don't buy followers. They actually do a good job. So we also want to be 1 million. So at least give me 30 here, okay? Thank you very much.
James, a big part of the success is not just the actual property and the beautiful resort itself, but it's the foundation, it's what you've given back to the community. Can you explain to the audience what you've done?
Sure. Again, this was started in the Claude era. I think more for survival than anything. 2 out of 4 children died of malaria. Malaria was rife. Furthermore, when you have extremely poor people, community with no water, great malnutrition, a foundation had to be started. And wind the clock forward in 2012, we continued the foundation. Chris and I got completely behind it, and where we are today, we've eradicated malaria. 2 out of the 4 children don't die anymore. Really, it's eradicated by probably 95%. Malnutrition has improved greatly. Stunted growth has improved. Water in the villages. There's a Sumba Hospitality Foundation school, which is not our work, but it's one of our customers, Inga de Waltermeier, who's got an extraordinary school. The Sumba Hospitality School has 80 students a year that live there in a beautiful bamboo building where people live, and it's just extraordinary. And as well as English Goes to Kampong, which Kampong means village, where about 3,000 children are touched learning how to speak English by a lady called Asti Kula, who organizes that and does that. So under the Birch Family Foundation, all of these exist. We raise over $2 million a year. 1 million is an endowment from one person, an anonymous donor, which gives us an extraordinary foundation. And everything else comes from our guests who leave and give us a great platform to do excellent work. And I just think that the most important part of that is it's real. And in the world we live in today, of where, to have philanthropy and to be sustainable and to do all of these things, it's often more lip service than real. And one thing we are very proud of, I think everything we do is extremely real. And the consumer today, especially the younger, can see very clearly what's real and what is not real, and it will continue to be more and more prevalent in the years to come.
I'd like to ask the audience for a round of applause for what James has been doing for the community.
Okay, you can do better than that. If he's asking you for a round of applause, right, Dak?
And obviously, tonight there's many people that you know, many people know you. And one thing that a lot of them saying is expansion.
Yes.
We're expanding into APAC, we're having new hotels, we're increasing the brand. Since you've built from scratch such a now recognized world-leading hotel, why don't you build more?
Well, we try to do that. So the honest truth is I think through the evolution, Nihi is just such a beautiful place, and sometimes failure brings you to a place that gives you more clarity. And what I mean by that is we tried, my team and I, we've been everywhere. We've been to New Zealand, Fiji, Colombia, Iceland, you name it, to always find that next spot. We had several lined up before COVID in Colombia. Costa Rica, we still actually have an extraordinary site around from the Four Seasons. And we are going to develop that, but I'm actually going to develop it with another brand, and not my brand. I don't want to develop it with Nihi. And people will say, why? Because I think what I've come to is a realization is that when you have something extraordinary, and I mean this in the most humble way I possibly can, because the beauty of Sumba is through its people, it's through the geographical opulence of Sumba, and it's just a very special place. And when you have something that special, I want to focus on that, and I want to make that better. And Sumba, as the New York Times said, Sumba is not Bali, and that's the point. And the power of Sumba having this paradise, there's no trash on the beach. Now, I know that sounds crazy. How can you say, well, there isn't any trash on the beach, and that's the ultimate luxury. We have a 2.5 kilometer beach you share with buffalo and people. It's the ultimate luxury. And you've got this expanse to where I would like to do 2 or 3 more on Sumba. So more for me is not necessarily better. And I think that this, where there's just more and more, and every corner that we're opening here and opening there and doing this, and every airport I see a Hermes shop, and I see a Goyard, and the Goyard's bigger, and the line outside is bigger, and there are more people, but it's all the same. It's all the same fundamentally going, and I think it's certainly a contrarian mindset. And did I want to do that for 10 years? Sure I did. Did we fail? Yes, we did fail. I would love to have had knees, but it didn't work out. But coming to the realization that it didn't work out, but what I have is so amazing, focus on what we do have and make that even better and make that even more powerful. And if something comes our way that's extraordinary, that can be a knee, I will do it. But I'm not flying around the world looking at sites and doing all of that now. And I think both Chris and I had this epiphany, is that this is what's important to us now. And there are many great hotels in the world where they are just one of one. And anyway, that's my thought on that.
You're one of the few people that have really redefined the luxury hotel industry, and you've given luxury to many people. What's luxury for you, James?
No, I haven't redefined anything. There's so many brilliant people in the world, and there are many, many brilliant people that do great things every single day. And I think I'm just blessed with, I've had the passion to be exposed to great things, to work with exceptional people, and to have been given great opportunities. I've also been lucky. Luck is a very important part in life. And there's no, luxury is what it means to you. As Jean-Michel was saying regarding comfort, it's what makes you happy. What makes me happy is fire toast. If I like bread toast cooked on a fire because you get the taste of the smoke, that's luxury to me. That may not be luxury to someone else. And it's purely an emotion that strikes a chord within you as an individual. And everyone can try and break it down as much as they want, this or that or whatever it may be. But that it can only be determined by oneself to determine what luxury is. It's what makes your heart beat fast. It's what makes your skin tingle, and just what makes you breathe and be happy. That's what luxury is to me.
Thank you very much, Mr. James McBride.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, James. Thank you very much, Tak.